Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
What's your craziest NSFW story that happened at work? Didn't happen to me, but a coworker brought her dog into work and it immediately raced towards the new intern guy, who no one really knew that well yet, and started jumping all over him and trying to get him to pick him up. The guy joked about having bacon in his pocket, but we all suspected our coworker was fucking the intern. And we were right. Edited for clarity. The guy joked about having bacon in his pocket. Turns out he was packing a different kind of meat entirely. Apparently, the coworker likes bacon. I work in a manufacturing factory that uses a lot of robots to assemble pieces together. The machinery has all sorts of cages, barriers, and safety lockouts to prevent people from injuring themselves. One day, a box had gotten stuck inside the machine and wouldn't come out. So a worker disabled every safety mechanism and started crawling through a narrow path in the equipment, similar to the size of a ventilation shaft in a Die Hard movie, so that he could clear the box from being jammed. Got fired immediately. Glad he got fired. I've seen so many places who would reward corner cutting in favor of efficiency, regardless of the danger it could cause. Perhaps not to this extent, but turn a blind eye. Perhaps. My dad was an electrician and told to crawl through a steam pipe to fix something. He said fuck no. They said the safety mechanisms were engaged and there was no risk. He said fuck no, while they were trying to convince another person to do it. Steam ended up shooting out of the pipe. Some jackass saw the safety mechanisms were engaged and figured it was a mistake and disengaged them. The guy the first replaced at my heavy equipment job was fired because apparently he was jerking off in his excavator at night during the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. Nobody knew about it until he accidentally sent the pictures, video to our boss instead of his girlfriend. They literally hired a company to come steam clean the cab of that Cat 390. Yeah, we don't have a standard repair plan for that. Me and you are starting a business. It'll come clean. Guy got run over and cut in half by a cement truck. Just spoke to him a few hours before it happened. Why didn't you warn him? This is the darkest, though funniest comment I've ever seen on Reddit. Just wow. Been working at a mental hospital as a cook for a few months. Recently, while I was serving lunch to all the other patients, one of them decided to crawl into the dish pit. I heard groaning near the end of my line of patients. Go to the dish pit, look around the corner and there's blood everywhere. Slit his wrists and throat. I ran for help. He grabbed the knife and was keeping us from getting it away from him. Then he gutted himself. I didn't see that part. Eventually they got the knife from him and an ambulance showed up, but he died shortly after. Horrific. Editing this in. I realize I should maybe change it to dish pit or dish room, but I'm really enjoying the dipshit dish pit stuff we got going on, which is really nice. That's awful. Also, I read dipshit multiple times even after I knew that wasn't right. I dressed up as a cardboard baling machine for Halloween and saw some shit. Two girls I work with were talking and one asked the other, "Who at work would you give a blowjob to?" The answer was me. Girl 1 told me what girl 2 said and I approached girl 2 about it. She gave me head behind the cardboard baling machine in the back storehouse. Hey, wait a second. Spooky coincidence. I gave head to a guy behind a cardboard baling machine in the back storehouse. This doesn't work if you don't read the other comment first. You're the first person to actually read the other comment, so thank you. I made an offhand comment about how my boss and another female manager, his direct report, were always nowhere to be found at the same time. She accused me of spreading rumors they were sleeping together. I found a new job. They're now married with a kid. Was there a cardboard baling machine where you worked? I used to do IT support for a charity that supplied housing and support for homeless people. A large proportion also had mental health issues. So there were a fair amount of interesting events that happened. Being in IT, I avoided experiencing most of it firsthand, though I was threatened with being stabbed on about my third day. Anyway, I come in one Monday, and there's an email labeled urgent, saying there was an incident at the stairwell of one of the properties on Sunday night. And could I pull the relevant CCTV footage and put it on a DVD? I had to do this fairly frequently. I skip through the footage, find the incident, usually a fight or blatant drug dealing, and burn it to DVD for the police. The email never mentioned what the incident was. So I skip through the footage, and watch as a clearly very agitated man ties a rope around a stair rail at the top of the stairs. Then his neck looks over the rail and then just casually tips forward over it. The rope flipped him round, and he dangled there twitching for far too long, before he just stopped. So yeah, that was pretty NSFW. They really should have given you a warning before having you see that. You'd think so, wouldn't you? I saw a guy getting head behind the cardboard baling machine from another guy that he thought was a girl. The plot thickens. I caught a guy whacking off while watching two people bang behind a cardboard baling machine. At least they were banging instead of getting a blowjob. Nobody believes it was just a blowjob. Retail worker here. It's hard to pin down the craziest. But, former worker comes in high as a kite on something one evening. And heads upstairs. Offices, break room, etc. She strips down naked in the hallway. Lays down in front of the time clock. And proceeds to piss and masturbate right there on the floor. It was a little later. So not a ton of workers on the clock. But finally an older employee walks in on it. And tells her she shouldn't be doing that. Tears of joy. And it was all caught on security cameras. Edit. Since a few people have asked. Not my store, but a buddy who was involved when it happened at a different location. He was up doing office work when someone went racing past the office door. Another manager in hot pursuit. Other manager yells for help, so friend takes off after them. Figures out the man running found the roof access stairs and had made it up and out them. Get to the roof, man is completely naked threatening to jump, not a tall building. They are able to tackle him and hold him until authorities arrive. All the while, naked man's dong flopping around in my friend's face, tears of joy. An older employee walks in on it. And tells her she shouldn't be doing that. Hey, you can't park there. Quote, that's really not good for the paper tray. Finally an older employee walks in on it. And tells her she shouldn't be doing that. Oh, is this wrong? I didn't realize. Maybe if someone would have told me beforehand.